against shaving now because it's getting cold. Winter's coming. But I want to talk about a comment that I've gotten before, and just the idea that some people have about this deception that I'm always talking about. And you know how many of us believe that the things we learned in school, like about where we live, that it's a type of like indoctrination. When you're a child and you are being raised by your parents and your teachers and whoever, there's things that become a part of reality because of what they teach you. They tell you certain things, and at that age where you're just consuming knowledge, you believe it because who else would be telling you the truth? You know what I'm saying? Like your parents, they are teaching you about the world that you live in, and you witness them living in it. You see them living in that world. But what I would say is that indoctrination is something that we all believed in until these recent years that we've had our eyes open. But the truth that we've learned is literally the opposite of what our parents taught us. And so it's very hard to look at the rest of the world and see them believing what we consider to be lies. And it's unique because it's also the same thing that we used to believe. We've left a certain belief and have found ourselves in an idea that's much more real to us. But one of the comments that I got on I think my last video was someone was saying how they were pissed because that they get away with lying like that. Like I think they mentioned that they can teach our children these lies, and kind of the idea of why is it like this? Why does it have to be this way? And I understand that. I mean, who wants people to tell lies to their kids? I don't think anybody would. But that's what's interesting about a debate that's happening. What is the lie? What is the truth? The way that I've learned to look at this deception happening, and the best way to sum that up, I think, is by saying that although I used to think that I really didn't think about it very much, but I used to think that there was like a human conspiracy, that there was people that were deceptive and lying, I guess people at NASA. These are unnamed, unknown, unseen people. Because nobody's ever seen these people. Nobody ever knows where these people are or who they are. But I used to believe the same thing, that there was like a deception happening, and that it was because of dishonest and deceitful people. And it would have been a conspiracy, right? Well, I don't think there's a conspiracy. Not a human conspiracy. I think we're literally being entertained by angels in high places in the world, but they're taking the form. There's a nice bump. They're taking the form of men and women, and they are deceiving the world by performing miracles that the world seems to think aren't miracles. They're just part of reality. So I just wanted to put this forward, or put this out there. I don't get pissed at these people anymore. Like, you know, our teachers at school teaching our kids about the solar system and a globe and all this garbage. I don't get pissed at them. I actually have compassion on them because I understand what Jesus was saying when he had compassion on the people that were deceived. He said, because they don't have a shepherd. They're without a shepherd. They're not following someone that's going to show them truth. So they're believing what the world tells them, which is, to us, it's a lie. And so if you send your children to public school, that's what they're going to learn. They're going to learn what I consider to be a lie, and what the school teachers and the school board or whatever doesn't consider to be a lie. They consider it to be the truth. So I don't get mad at them. I have compassion on them because they're blind. They're going about their day with a blindfold on and not understanding that we have adversaries, like big time adversaries, and they're not men. Our adversaries are not human. They are of the angelic realm. And that's exactly what Paul says. He says, we're not struggling against flesh and blood, but against powers and principalities and the rulers of the darkness of this world. That would be the night sky, the darkness. That'd be where the sun, moon, and stars are. The blackness of darkness. We've looked at it as being space, but it's actually the deep. It's an abyss of darkness. What is darkness? Don't ask me. I don't know. God called it night. He divided it from the day, from the light. So when you look, this is just what I would say, is when you look at other people, if your mind goes to the idea that there's a human conspiracy and that there's these elite men that are lying to the world, yeah, you're going to be pissed. You're going to be pissed at them for lying to the world. But in reality, that's not what's happening. There's not a group of elite men lying to the world. There's a group of fallen angels lying to the world. They're lying to every person in the world. So when I look at, you know, if I was to say space is fake, there's an element of truth in there, if you ask me. Space is outer darkness. It's not a place where things orbit. It's not a solar system where things perpetually free fall. It's actually a bottomless pit, and we've misinterpreted what it is. So have compassion on the people that don't have a shepherd, and show them or tell them that you have a shepherd, and that he's taught you things. He showed you things that you needed to understand in order to realize that there is great deception and there is a lie being believed, and it's not coming from men. That's the scary part. It's not coming from men. It's coming from what I would guess, or what I would assume, is demons or unclean spirits. And some of them, and I know this probably might be a wild idea, but I think that the majority of those fallen angels that are unclean spirits or whatever, they're the elite that these people speak of. And I think they come in the form of astronauts. That's what I think. I think they go to the kings of the earth and sell their story. And, you know, men build these Tower of Babel type flying machines, and these fallen angels act as men, and nobody's the wiser, and they go in these vehicles, these Tower of Babel type vehicles, go in them and perform miracles to gather people to battle against God and not believe in God. The fallen angels, that's the elite group. And then they take many different forms. I think some of them take the form of astronauts, others take the form of planets, stars that transgress. They sin against God's commanded, ordained courses and order. The sky is like a clock, and they blaspheme it. They try to ruin it. Look at what Elon Musk is doing. You can't look at the night sky the same. There's Starlink satellites littering the sky. Which brings me to satellites. There's some people that talk about satellites and they show, Samsung sent up a phone on a balloon, okay? They sent up a satellite on a balloon that had a phone or a couple phones in it or something. And it was like, obviously for a publicity thing. And they lost, because of the weather, they lost, they didn't get the balloon where it was supposed to go or whatever. And it ended up landing in someone's backyard. It just like floated down on the balloon and landed in someone's yard. Because that happens doesn't at all mean that satellites aren't littering the night sky in orbit, circling above the Earth in a medium that we don't understand. Whoa. Why are you going on the brakes? Whoa, I see. There's a cop. State trooper pulls someone over in the middle of right where the median is. I don't know what. Maybe they're broke down. I don't know. But that's pretty dangerous. Anytime there are state troopers with cherries on, the chances of an accident happening are tenfold. I think on the freeway with the speeds we go, that, like they have emergency help or whatever. They got trucks that drive around with cherries that, give a warning in case someone did break down or something, or they're switching a tire or something. Sorry to get off topic, but it bothers me every time I see someone pulled over by a state trooper on the freeway, because I nearly get in an accident every time. I nearly rear end the person in front of me just because there's a cop pulling someone over, and I'd like to see the conversation going on the side of the freeway. License and registration, please. Do you know you were going 6 miles over the speed limit there? It's worth risking all these people's lives to get you a ticket. It's ridiculous, but that's what exits are for, troopers. Pull them over at the exit. Go ahead and follow them all the way to the exit. I don't care. Don't pull them over on the freeway. That's just stupid. Anyway, that's my opinion, obviously. So, have compassion on the people that are teaching your kids lies. Have compassion on the people that are spinning out of control on a globe and arguing that that's the reality, although it goes against every one of their senses and perceptions. It's the opposite of their perceptions. The Earth isn't rotating, but they think it is. Have compassion on them. They're believing a lie. They're not deceiving people, they're being deceived. And I see it's such a big difference. And I always compare it to like your first grade school teacher. Were they lying to you when they told you where America was on the globe, or where they told you where Africa was on the globe? Were they lying to you? Or were they teaching you what they believed is reality? They weren't lying to you. Even though they were telling a lie, they weren't lying to you. It's almost like running a relay race. They're just handing out the baton and something they believe, and then the next person just continues on with it. It's not a purposeful lie. Bible it says they hide the truth in unrighteousness. Well, I would agree with that, but the way I look at that is they hide the truth unknowingly. They don't know that they're hiding the truth. They're saying what they believe, what they were taught, and the reality that they believe they're in. And it's such a huge step to take to learn that that's a lie. It's hard to accept that. But yeah, so just because there's some balloons, satellite, whatever you want to call it, satelloons, that doesn't say anything about the thought. Whoa, jeez. People drive like crap. There's like 35 north, left lane, 2 lanes, 35 south. And I'm in the middle lane. That guy right there is in right lane. And he decides, oh, I guess I'm going north. Right in front of me. No signal, no nothing. Why would you? But satellites are just like, let's talk about the word satellite, okay? Satellites actually don't exist, okay? What a satellite is it's something that's orbiting around something else, right? But this comes from the idea of a globe and gravity and all that. But a satellite, the way I talk about a satellite is as a device that's in the sky, that's in orbit. But I don't think orbit is going around a globe. Orbit is just a circle in the sky. It's just doing a circle in the sky. Like the ISS is just going like this, in like a pattern. It's just going in a pattern. And because physics is not the same up in that darkness, it's easy to deceive NASA that it is. So that's this conspiracy, this fallen angel conspiracy, has made it possible for NASA to understand. I mean, I'm just using NASA, but anybody that studies physics of celestial physics, like there's even such a thing. But they study the like orbital mechanics, and they try to make sense of what we see in the sky in a physical, tangible way. And those evil spirits in the sky, like planets, they've allowed men to look at them a certain way. They do retrograde motion, and they do different paths than all the fixed stars. And so they give men the idea that Earth is a sphere. But it's not. Don't say satellites are fake, or even insinuate that satellites are fake until you actually look up the sky. That's the first thing you should do, is make an observation before you just say that nobody ever sees satellite. You haven't looked at the sky in the last 3 years. Elon Musk has ruined astronomy in the last 3 years. Like, looking up at the stars isn't the same if you're looking up at the stars, because there's things that go in the way. Like if you're doing time-lapse photography, you'll see Starlink satellites in your photography. And yes, they go 17,500 miles an hour. And only a person that doesn't want to know the truth. If you're seeking the truth, you're not just going to say, oh, that's fake. Oh, that's fake. They're faking that. If you're actually interested in the truth, you're going to have to seek it out. You're going to have to look at, okay, let me give you an example. I want you to go to YouTube, and it's just one example. If you don't think that satellites are going fast, and you don't think that they're in orbit, and you think that men are faking them, go type in to YouTube ATV-1. That's ATV-1 re-entry. That's just one video of I don't remember what it was. well, ATV-1. And they filmed it from the ground, re-entering the atmosphere. It just looks like a meteor, kind of, but it like goes longer. Or look up, here's another one you can search for Falcon 9 failed deorbit. You can see a meteor going through the sky, but it's actually a Falcon 9 rocket burning up in the atmosphere as it comes back in because it didn't deorbit right. This happened about a year ago, and it was seen all the way up the west coast, like in the Washington area, Oregon. So it's not just a fake thing that some guys are faking. It's actually a real thing that is up in the sky, and it's a real phenomenon that happens when something deorbits, and it doesn't have a heat shield. It will burn up. Like plasma forms around the vehicle, and then now go to go to Florida, and geez, people are horrible drivers. Go to Florida and you can watch the Dragon capsule with people on it. You can watch it come back and re-enter Earth's orbit, or Earth's atmosphere. You can watch it come back from the ground. I mean, it looks like a meteor going through the sky, and people all along the coast can see it. That's the thing, is they film it. Go to YouTube and actually do some research. Look at some videos that people take. So are all these people faking space? No, nobody's faking space. Nothing up there, like there's no display of lies happening up there. It's actually just real. Like when something is in orbit, you can track it because it's on a predictable path. And when I say that, I'm saying like this: it's on a predictable orbit or whatever, very precise, like, because you could give me your location, and I mean they have websites and apps and everything for this. You could give me your location, like pinpoint your location, and I could look it up, and I could tell you exactly where to look in the sky at exactly what time that the ISS is going to come into view, and it will be exactly, you'll look exactly in that point in the sky, and you will see at the exact time that orbital mechanics tells you, you will see the space station. You see it come into view, and you watch it go until it goes out of view, and you can predict all of that. And in fact, it's predicted already, because it's just simple math. It's not simple math. It's just numbers, and we can use numbers to do a lot of things, but the sky is like a clock. God made it, and from the ground, it has significant value to understanding time, seasons, days, years, like signs in the heavens, things like that. It's simply not fake. I don't know how to. I can't research it for you. I can't make you go outside and let your eyes adjust and look up at the sky and actually try to perceive what's up there. Because if you're just saying that there's satelloons and you show, there was this satelloon that crashed or came down. Are satellites even real? Well, you might have to cover a little more base. Your base is a little bit more than that, is what I mean. You're gonna have to do it more. You have to cover your bases, because you're clearly not right now. You're going with the idea that, sorry, I have to move over here. You're going with the idea that there's a human conspiracy, and that's what's false. There's not a human conspiracy. Again, Satan, in Revelation, did Satan deceive the whole world? Or did he deceive nearly all the world, or most of the world? It doesn't say anything like that. It says he deceived the whole world. So, if we apply what the Bible says to this, we get a different picture. Have a good day.